Hello, Amanda with the Workforce Centers of South Central Kansas. Today, I want to talk about your job search and your job search during this unprecedented time where we're having to deal with COVID-19, stay at home orders, lots of layoffs, and still potentially, looking for work and how you may be able to make the most out of your time that you have right now and make it well spent. How you can get job ready today so that way, even though the market may have slowed down right now, when it does open back up and everyone is hiring again, that you will be ready to put in your application, to send in your resume, be ready to interview and to land that job. That's what we're going to talk about today. How you can maximize your time right now to land that job that you want. I've broken it down into several steps, and we'll go into more detail on each of these. But the first thing you really need to do is to narrow down your job search. Next, you'll want to determine your personal brand. Then you're going to want to create a targeted resume. In addition, you're going to want to open up a LinkedIn account, and you're going to want to practice your interview skills. When we talk about narrowing down your job search, why do you want to narrow down your job search? When we talk to customers, generally, they're, desperate for a job and you're like, I'll do anything, right? Well, sometimes that kind of clouds the job search. You've got too many options. And then you're applying for things that maybe you don't even really want to do. And so you really do need to focus. You need to figure out what you want. What kind of job do you want? Whether that's, what kind of role you want, or, where do you want this job to be located? Near, not too far from home. How much you want to make potentially to be able to survive. Have some things, goals to narrow down that job search so that you can narrow your focus and really think about specific industries, positions, or employers that you want to work for. And so how you can narrow down your job search, I'm going to give you some ways to do that. First, create a list of employers to research. And by researching these employers, you can kind of get an idea of what they do, maybe what the wage is like, benefits, things like that that might impact your decision, whether you would even want to work there or not. Doing your research for the company is going to be important for you determining if it's a good fit, but also when you do get that interview, you have already done some research so that you can be able to answer that question about what do you know about us? Think of some job titles that maybe you would want. So that way you can begin searching for that type of work as well. Or think about particular industries. Maybe I want to be a trainer, but I really don't like healthcare. So what industry would I want to be a trainer in? So you have to kind of think about those things too. And so kind of get some ideas to narrow down that job search focus. And one way that you can do it, you may not realize, but you can actually go to yellowpages.com and start going through the yellow pages and looking at what companies might I be interested in working for. And then take that list. Now do your research. See what job openings they have open. Okay? If you're not sure what you want to do, that's okay. There's actually several resources that can help you kind of narrow down what you might want to do. mynextmove.org. It is an inventory assessment about your own interest, not what you have education to do or experience. It's really about, would you like to do this or would you not like to do that? It'll ask you about 60 questions, usually takes 10 minutes. When you're done, it'll tell you which types of jobs might be a good fit for you. At that point, you could research those jobs. Does it require that you get a degree? Is it something that you could do with your current education, or might I need additional training? There is also a career interest game on the website that I have listed here, career.missouri.edu/career interest game /. And it allows you to also, by using the Holland code, determine what kind of careers may be of interest to you. So I would encourage you to check that out. It actually gives direct links to research those occupations in which you may find interest in. And then you've got ownitonline.org. And this tool is actually good for a lot of things, but career exploration is one of those. We also have a separate YouTube video that goes over how to use ownitonline.org. So if you have trouble figuring out how to work the website, please check out that YouTube video. It's pretty easy though. You type in whatever occupation you're looking for, you'll find that occupation, and it gives you job titles that may be related to that occupation. It gives you what duties you would normally do within the occupation, skills and knowledge, education, wage information, and other related jobs that are similar to that. So searching ownitonline.org would be another opportunity to do some of that research if you're not sure if it's something you might be interested in doing. So once you've got your job search narrowed down, we'll move on to the next step. Now you need to determine your personal brand. And according to Daniel Decker in a Forbes article, he says, my own simple definition, a personal brand is how you are perceived by the outside world. Therefore, personal branding is taking control of that perception and shaping it into whatever you'd like it to be. And I think that's important because personal brand is how you are perceived. So whether you choose to create your own personal brand or not, you've created one by your actions, your presence, behaviors, how you choose to conduct yourself. That is establishing your personal brand, even if you don't set out mentally, this is what I want my personal brand to look like, and here's how I'm going to carry that out. Because somebody is always going to have a perception about you. But when you determine your personal brand, you get to decide, what do I want people to think about me? What can I do to exhibit those behaviors that hopefully someone would perceive me that way? So you need to define the brand you would like to build. Get outside perspective and determine how you can write your own narrative. So again, that's those action steps. So on my how, for the first thing, define the brand you would like to build. Ask yourself, how do I want to be perceived? What strengths or abilities do I want to highlight? When we talk about getting outside perspective, ask others, what skill or ability do they most appreciate? What makes me unique from others, And with creating the action plan, what steps can I take to deliver my brand? So think about your brand or the label that you want and how you can carry that out. Do your best to carry that out. Once you have focused on what your job search is, you've created your personal brand, now you can begin creating a targeted resume. A targeted resume focuses on a specific job opening. So I'm going to give you example A and example B here. Example A would be a resume that you found a job. It's for a member, frontline, cashier at Sam's Club. And so a targeted resume for that one is going to be very specific to that job description. Now, if you just knew you wanted to be a cashier, but you didn't really know where, so you're just kind of creating what I call a foundational resume, to get you started, and you create a resume that focuses around being a cashier, but then later, once you find that specific position, you can go back to your resume. Does my resume about being a cashier match the job description? If it does, you can use it. If it doesn't, or there's things you need to add or remove, you can do that to then make it be more specific, like example A, true targeted resume. So when we talk about a targeted resume, we're not talking about a general resume that just goes over all of our work history with no actual focus. Again, another prime example of why you want to focus your job search, so you can focus your resume. So with example A, as I mentioned before, that is using the job description to guide you. What do you and your skills have in common with the job description? I always encourage people to go in and highlight the things that match in the job description that they've done. That way, they can easily pull those things out of the job description and make sure that they've included them in the resume. For example, B, if you know you want to be a cashier, but you're not really sure where you want to be a cashier at yet, or where you're going to be applying, you might use various job descriptions of a cashier. See what kind of common trends they have of what skills that they need in a cashier. And then you would write your resume focusing on those skill sets. Or you could use onetonline.org, like we talked about a minute ago, for career exploration. You could type in cashier, see what those duties are, and use those as some of the skill sets that you have, as long as, of course, that is true. Our templates are located at workforce-ks.com. And so you can go to that website under the job seeker section, go to tips and templates, and you will find our versions of a chronological, a functional, and a combination template that you could use to create your resume. We also have a YouTube video that talks about resume writing. So it's called Creating a Resume Using Templates, and it can be found on YouTube as well for more information. You want to open up a LinkedIn account. Why LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a social networking site for professionals. They say that it's somewhere like 85% of jobs are not actually posted. It's through networking. And so that's what this LinkedIn account would hopefully allow you to do, is to begin networking to help you find work, connections, and to build that brand that you have decided to create for yourself. So the benefits of having an account are networking, but it also has job boards on there. You can find work. You can also keep up on employment trends. Things change all the time with employment trends. At one point in time, you used an objective statement on your resume. You don't use those anymore. It's kind of outdated. Okay. So you can stay on top of things like that by following these articles about what is happening in the HR world today. And like I mentioned a minute ago, it is that platform to deliver that personal brand, to share your knowledge, to show your personality, to show your skills for the brand that you're trying to deliver. So how can you open a LinkedIn account? You can go to linkedin.com and click Join Now. You'll want to make sure, though, that it's a professional network. So make sure you have a professional picture We would encourage a professional headshot, not a selfie or a full body picture, really just a headshot. Only post business related content. It's not a Facebook. Make your headline more than just a job title to capture attention. And this can be a really cool networking opportunity for you. If you are able to get creative with your headline, it's a way to also kind of say, hey, I'm looking for work. And so use that headline to your advantage. Turn your summary into a story, because there's where you can connect and deliver that personal brand. If you're unsure of how to get started on LinkedIn, it is a little bit different of a platform, takes a little time getting used to. You can watch how to get started on LinkedIn in 2020 YouTube video. I've got the link provided below, or you can just search in YouTube that information. It wasn't produced by us, but it's one that I found that I just thought for those that may, want to see a video of how to get started on LinkedIn, a resource for you. Once you have got your LinkedIn created, you're utilizing it, practicing those interview skills is extra important, because at any point in time, once you start applying for jobs, you could have an interview the next day. So you need to be ready beforehand. And so that way you're not frantically trying to practice at the last minute. A resume gets you the interview, but almost always it's your interview skills that get you the job. Keep that in mind. So research common interview questions. You can use a search engine like Google or Bing or other ones and type in common interview questions, top 10 interview questions. You can also go to our website, workforce-ks.com, and under the tips and templates section, there is some interview questions and information on there. You will want to understand how to answer behavioral-based questions, and that we have in a formula called STAR, Situation, Action, Result. I talk about those behavioral-based questions in more detail on our interview-bound workshop, which can also be found on YouTube. And then you'll want to review some basic interview etiquette to make sure that, you're dressed appropriately, you show up on time. All of those things are also in that interview-bound workshop. So you'll see I've got the website for our tips and templates, and I've got the interview-bound workshop with the link below. You can Google, you can also go to glassdoor.com and even get company-specific questions that they generally ask. And then I would encourage you to do a practice interview with family or friends. Okay, so you've done all that. Now what, right? Well, the good news is that, hey, you're going to be ready to rock and roll as soon as you get that interview, and you're going to be 100% prepared. So if you haven't already started to job search yet, now what you can do is start job searching and completing applications. Grow those relationships with the friends and family and social media accounts and begin networking. Like I said, 85% of jobs are not posted. It's about talking to your friends and your family, seeing who's hiring, seeing who they know. In fact, I heard a good tip the other day. Don't do your job search at home. Once these restrictions get lifted, if you can go to a coffee shop or somewhere else where there's Wi-Fi, because then you're around people and hopefully that'll start conversations, and you can start even building connections while you're out job searching to hopefully find out about other places that might be hiring. Then you'll want to redo your resume for additional targeting purposes. A new resume is ideal for each job. So once you do that foundational targeted resume, like cashier, when you pull up the description and you're going to really apply for the cashier at Walmart, now go back and see, did I leave some stuff out that I know how to do in this job description that I need to add to my resume? Or in my resume, is there some stuff here that's not really relevant and I could pull it out? So you're going to make additional adjustments to that resume to really cater it to that specific position at that specific company. Then continue to learn new skills to make you more employable. So whether that's you're attending workshops, watching YouTube videos, or if you're beginning to practice a new skill to continue to get better at that. Continue developing those skills that you have. And then, last but not least, follow up on applications you've submitted. I would give it a week, but after a week, I would begin following up to see what the status of your application is. I've heard that sometimes, we may think that we applied for a job, but something didn't get filled out exactly correct, and it's just sitting as an incomplete application, but you wouldn't know that unless you call to follow up on it. Plus, when you call to follow up, that generally will, allow them the opportunity to then go pull your resume and actually take a look at it. Now your name is going to stick out. So keep that in mind. Don't forget to follow up on your resumes and applications that you submit. There are additional resources if you have questions or concerns about your job search practices. You can visit our virtual career center. That's, getting new information uploaded to it on a regular basis, but it will have information on job searching and those resources, as well as, subscribing to our YouTube channel. As I mentioned before, we have several videos that are already out there that can get you some additional information on how to use ONET and how to do your resume and how to interview. And plus, there are many, many, many more. We've also got job boards such as kansasworks.com that you can begin using, and those jobs are listed there and they go directly to the job site. I don't know if you've ever had where you kind of get in this loop and you get to a page that's not really the job you were looking for. Those third-party sites, you won't have to worry about that with kansasworks.com, and that's what makes it so nice. So now is the time, as I mentioned before, to get job ready. Take this time to really improve your skills, to have your resume look great, to make sure that you are ready to interview, to network, to create you a LinkedIn account. If right now the jobs you're looking for aren't available, that's okay. Take this time to maximize your ability to get the job once they become available. Now, like I mentioned, there are some jobs that are still hiring, so you can even find our jobs for COVID-19 essential jobs on our page as well. And I have a YouTube video on finding those jobs. So if you're looking for work right now, looking for those essential jobs, they're out there too. So get ready. Start on those steps that I gave you, whether you're looking for work now or whether you'll be looking for work here in the near future. Of course, follow our Facebook, subscribe to our channel, and look forward to all of our new videos that'll be coming out. Thank you.